Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to wherever you are in this world. Welcome to another edition of the Ingle and Roger Sports Hour. We were away for a couple of weeks due to holiday weekend, and last week some technical issues and some traveling issues. Um, so Roger, you're back safely in Toronto, in Canada. So good to have you back here on the
Yeah,
show.
thank you so much, Ingle. And I'm so happy to be back. I mean, yeah, we missed the show 2 weeks in a row. It feels like a long time, but I got an opportunity to see things right up front, live there at the Stade de France. So you couldn't beat that. so
Yeah, I got
I
some surprises there, and I'm sure you'll talk
oh,
about them later on.
tons of surprises, tons of
Yeah,
things happening there, good and bad, but made it a very interesting trip for sure.
yeah, it was some disappointments for many at the Olympics, but for some, it was just as expected, and I'm happy to see some of the winners.
Yes.
Surprised at some of the winners there, but that's sport for you.
I know one of the biggest surprises that Canada men's 4x1 team winning the 4x100 after
Yes,
going to the finals with the slowest time. So, it was an amazing thing to watch live. And trust me, um, Canada, oh, Canada. That's all
yeah,
I
it was
can
so
say.
good, and we'll
Nothing
talk.
could beat that one, that feeling.
Yeah, yeah, you'll discuss that some more later, and talk about the U.S. for years can't change the batting
Fine.
properly.
So, and figure it out. It was an amazing thing to watch
Yeah,
live. And trust me,
and
Canada, oh, Canada. That's all
yeah,
I
it
can
was so
say.
good, and
Nothing
we
could
getting a
beat that one.
feedback.
Feeling.
Yeah, yeah, you'll discuss that some more later, and talk about the Hello, U.S. Go ahead. For years can't change the I think we're
Like,
getting a feedback here, Roger, but I'm not
yeah, I
sure.
think
Okay, it's cleared
it's
now.
cleared up
Yeah,
now. Yep, yep. Thank
yeah.
you.
So, there's a couple of things that we need to discuss today.
Lots of things.
A lot of
The
things.
world didn't stop for the Olympics. Things were
No,
still happening in cricket and other sports. So yes,
yeah.
man.
And
So,
the FA, I mean the English Premier League has started again
oh,
yesterday,
it's
and
back. It's back.
as one of yeah, I guess your team is on top of the table now, eh?
It's start off on top. I mean, how long it's going to stay there is going to be a whole other conversation, but nothing better to be started at the top.
Yes, good win there, and we're also gonna talk some tennis because there's tennis in Cincinnati, and I
Yeah.
want to start there actually with tennis because if go back maybe a week to the Canadian Open, we saw the early exit of Coco when we thought that she was going to win, and then another early exit here in
Yeah.
Cincinnati, and just
Yeah.
wonder what's happening with her at the moment.
I think I had it as a thing to talk about as well. I put losing again, so something is going on. She can't seem to make it past the quarters, and if she does, she's not making it past the semis. She's coming in hyped, she's coming in looking ready, but she's not playing well. She's not playing consistently at all. And I
Hmm.
don't know, is it a mental thing? Is it a coaching thing? I'm not 100% sure anymore, but she doesn't look like a winner. When I see her out there now, I'm not feeling it like, Coco is going to do something special and win the game today. I'm not really feeling that. So I don't know if it's her energy is just not there, but I'm actually getting a little concerned. I mean, it's been a little while now. It's been a little while, so I think it's time for a change. And hopefully, the U.S. Open coming up in a couple of weeks, we're gonna see that.
Yeah, we need to see her play well in the U.S. Open coming up, and as you said, we don't know if I think it's more mental because she's talented. She's been playing well, and then all of a sudden there was a big dip. It's either mental or maybe tiredness. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Or she's distracted. so,
Could be.
so yeah, something is going on there, and we just need her to fix it. I think is the best way to look at it. She got mad at the umpire in a game and just lost her cool and that type of stuff. So she's not locked in the way she needs to be locked in, and I'm
Right.
hoping she can get it all together in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's hope that can happen. And but on the other hand, you look at Clayla Fernandez. She's just having fun and then just moving on, just beating everyone.
Yeah, you know what? It's fascinating to watch because she's also very talented, and she hasn't produced as much as I thought, and maybe a lot of people felt she would have done after she made the U.S. finals a few years ago.
Hmm.
But she seems to be enjoying her game again. She seems to be into it. She's a fighter, and she's fighting for her games, and I love that. I love that. So I don't know how far she's going to go, but she's progressing really well. Felix, as, as what's his name again? Felix from Montreal.
Felix Auger, yeah, I see
And
him.
I see him. He's
Yeah,
also doing extremely well, and he's
yeah.
beating bigger seeded players than himself. So he seems to have found back his form as well. So
Mm.
Canada is just on this nice little roll right now with to see Leyland Felix just going so well. So fascinating to watch. Fascinating to watch.
Unfortunately, Felix lost last night in a late match to
I know.
Draper. Yeah, but he
That
was
was a
playing
tough
pretty
game.
good. Yeah, it
That
was
was
a tough game.
that was a tough game.
Yeah,
But he's
but
been playing pretty solid though, Felix.
yeah, he's been pretty solid for sure. He's been playing some good tennis, and but yes, Layla will play Pegula, who won the
Yeah, I know.
Canadian Championships
I know.
in the quarterfinals today, and then Swiatek plays Andreeva Sabalenka
Something like
Samasova,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, so some good matches still today, and
Exciting matches for sure, for sure. I
exciting for
always say
sure.
Swiatek is going to do it, but I don't know. She's another one. I don't know what's going on with her either. But she, I think, should win her quarterfinals. I
Yes,
think
she
she,
should,
I think she
but
should.
not sure. But as you said, she's been losing some silly matches.
So exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Not sure what's going on in the head.
but we're coming to the, as I said, the business end of the Cincinnati Fine
Yes,
Opens, and then after that is all that's starting on the 26th
sixth. Yes,
is the U.S.
U.S.
Open.
Open. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's not just around the corner.
it is. I'm actually thinking of getting away to go and watch a few matches there because of
I
something that's been on my bucket list. So I
same here.
think
You
it's,
know what? It's so
yeah,
strange you mentioned it because I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days as well. I'm like,
yeah,
I've always said I want to go. It's right over there in Queens. It's not that far.
exactly.
So who knows? Who knows? If you have a ticket, let me know.
Yes, definitely will do. And thinking of getting there.
Yes, it'll be an
So,
awesome
anything
place
else
to
on
be.
tennis? So, we want to move on and talk
I
some.
think before we leave tennis, I think I just wanted to mention that at the Olympics, it was
Oh, yeah.
Novak against Alcaraz again, but
Yes.
this time an emotional Novak
Novak. Yeah.
took the title, his first Olympic gold. So kudos to him. He's not young. He's a trooper. He's a fighter. He's a winner. And he proved all of that when he took his first Olympic gold, beating Alcaraz. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it was good for him.
Yeah.
And as you talk about the Olympic and other sports that were there, like tennis and then also the golf. I mean, I was I actually got emotional for Lydia Ko because she won and that win put her into the Hall of Fame,
Fame, yeah,
which
yeah,
was pretty good. And biggest surprise I think for me was on the men's side that Scheffler came back and won that
yeah.
men's gold because he looked like he was out of it.
He was
But
out of it. It didn't look like he was out of it. I don't know how he came
yeah,
back. That was almost like a miracle.
yeah. Anytime he's lurking, he's so good. He's number
Yeah,
no. There's a reason why he's the number one player in the world, and he's
he's
just you
pretty good.
can't get him close, and he will win. So
He's pretty good. I will say he has that killer instinct. He knows how to finish it off, and that's what you need in this game. So, as you said, if he's close by, then you can almost say forget it. You got to come with your A+ game to take him on.
you do. And sorry. So yeah, anything else you want to touch on? Maybe some. I don't think there's any Formula One this weekend, but we
Not
want
this
to talk.
weekend, but I mean, before we run away too far, there's one since we're
Hmm.
in Toronto, we got to talk a little bit for 2 seconds about Mr. Austin Matthews being
Oh
named the
yes,
26th captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. To see John Tavares, a Canadian, giving it up to him was a little different. I don't know what
hmm
your thoughts are on it. Is it a good move? Is this the best move for the team right now?
Well, I think they're saying it's the best move for them. I don't know if it is. I guess he's your best player, and you probably want to give it. But both of them are on the team together.
Together,
How
yeah.
does it feel to give over a captain and you're still playing with that person?
That's my thought as well.
And
But I mean, Tavares seems professional enough. But I mean, and he said he was part of the process. So, but I
yes,
found it
he
a little
did.
strange, I must say.
Yeah, it was a little strange, but I think maybe the Leafs wanted to do something because they did not do too much in terms of trading and getting other players. So
Yeah.
probably that was the next best thing to do.
And yeah, yeah, good point. And I think it builds a little vibes about the team. Your best player, your highest paid player is the captain of the team. So maybe that's something. And every captain usually goes into that Hall of Fame row. So maybe that's what they want to make sure he's in the Hall of Fame row. I don't know, but yeah, it's all good, I think. And let's see if he can step up as a leader.
Yeah, let's see. And I was actually listening to a program where they said that one of the persons on the program felt that the Leafs don't want to win because they do well enough in terms of franchise as a
Franchise.
franchise
Make a
without
lot of
winning.
money. Yeah,
So
that is true. Well, if they win it, even make more. But I mean, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, what's the incentive? They
yeah,
already too rich, in my opinion.
yeah. Every night is sold out. The
Every night.
jerseys are sold out. So
Yeah,
what's the difference?
I know. It's so true. The only thing missing is that parade.
that that's true. That parade is missing for
That's
sure.
the parade that they're missing. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do this year. But I like Austin Matthews he's a tremendous goal scorer and
He is.
good player. He's getting better as a two-way player as well. So looking forward to see what he does as a captain. Sometimes captaincy lifts your game, and sometimes it breaks your game. So I remember a while back when that same thing sort of happened to Matt Sundin, and he was a really good player, and then he became captain. And I don't think he was as good when he became captain. So we'll see. We'll see what Aston Matthews does as a captain.
Yes, we will see for sure. And I mean, Leafs Nation, they will follow and be cheering for, you know,
Oh yeah,
always behind the Leafs.
always. And I mean, there's a lot of silent people who want to see them win as well. So I think
Yeah,
you just see them come out of the woodwork if they actually win. But yeah, the whole of Toronto is behind the Toronto Maple Leafs, or I should say 95%. The other 5% are Montreal Canadiens.
yes, I definitely will be happy to see Toronto win one
Oh,
of these days.
it would be awesome. It would be awesome. Yeah, before we move on,
And
as you mentioned, with the F1, not a lot going on because it's a break week, but McLaren is right there now. I think they're just 42 points behind Red Bull, so it's becoming a
hmm
real competition. Max Verstappen is saying, "We have work to do. If we're going to take back our dominance." So he's sort of looking at it now. The McLaren guys are saying, "You know what? We're just focused on the title. It's not about the driver, whether it's Piastri
hmm
or Norris. Doesn't matter. We want to win the title." So I think it augurs well for the rest of the season, the second half of the season.
it does
Mercedes is coming up. Lewis Hamilton, two races in a row, although he was sad that he had to take the victory from George Russell from the last one.
from
But,
the last one. Yeah,
but yeah, Mercedes is there as well.
yeah, they're there. Just not a lot of points between the top and the fourth. Well,
Yeah,
fourth, yeah. So it's anyone's game actually
that's what we
for
wanted
the
to see
drive
for a couple of years now,
constructors.
right? We need to see that for a couple of years now. It was just Red Bull from the first race, and it was over. But now we have something to look forward to in the second half of the season.
Yeah, even in the drivers, I mean,
Yeah,
McLaren is right there, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc is third, and Hamilton with those two wins now, he's up to sixth position,
yeah, he's
so
moving on his way up. So
moving up.
Yeah, it's interesting, I must say, and it's good to have F1 racing back instead of just watching this one guy have a donut and a coffee while winning his races. So,
Yes, yeah, same guy over and over.
over and over. I know,
Yeah,
it's like a bad cartoon. So it's good to see that it's finally no competition. So it's going to be fun to see.
yes. Any other sports you want to talk about before we get into some cricket? And there's a lot of track and field to catch up on because the whole Olympics, I think, you need to speak about. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna be quick with the cricket, and
I
then
can take your time. I think we have enough time. So
yeah.
lots going on in cricket, lots to be talking about, and lots to be opening your eyes and saying, "What just happened here?" So let me know what's going on in cricket.
Well, first of all, let's talk about West Indies and South Africa because that series is ongoing. And West Indies, the first match drew in Trinidad, a lot of rain around,
I mean,
and
the
was
captain said it wasn't the rain that saved them. Do you agree with the captain?
it wasn't the rain.
That's what he
well,
said.
well, you can
Well,
say
you don't
anything.
agree?
You can say anything, but like I think West Indies have not played. South Africa's dominated
Yes, they have.
this match, that first match, and even in the second match, I mean, test match that's ongoing now, bit of a disappointment because after doing the hard work, West Indies in the first innings bowling out South Africa for 160 in
Yeah,
that match, and then they didn't do. You thought that they would have batted well and get the first innings lead, but no.
they couldn't even
It,
do that.
no, it was 144 all out, and it was really disappointment.
Oh,
And it
you tell
was
me. Oh my God, I can't believe this. You got this thing on a platter, and you're not even taking it.
yeah, Shamar Joseph. He had a five for his third in a short test career, and it was thanks to him that they even got close because he scored 25 in
He's
batting
the,
at number 11.
what's the difference actually? So it was weird, you know. When I look, first I heard where South Africa is 90 something for eight. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get them out for less than 120, but they made it all the way to 160. Right? So it's like,
Yeah, they
okay,
are.
you got a big score, big enough score, so it could be dangerous because that pitch is a little, I wouldn't say, I don't know, how do you want to say it without being bad about it? Sketchy
I
in
think
some ways. I don't know,
I think the first day it probably had a lot of moisture in it and it was swinging about a lot. The
all over the
ball
place.
was seaming,
Yeah,
and but it settled down a bit on the second day, and South Africa batted well. I mean, they lost some early wickets, but they're 223 for five.
and they're looking
A
to make a big
lead.
score. I can
They're
almost feel
looking
it.
to, yeah, and it's only the third day, so
Yeah,
the lead is 239. West Indies will have to do well to bowl them out early today in order to have a chance because anything over 350
it's
is
going to
going
be
to be a start.
extremely difficult, and that's what I'm looking at here. I mean, you got 5 wickets. You just need to make another 100 or so. I think they're going to get to 350, and that's going to, well, West Indies will have the time to do it. I don't know if they have the batting to do it because I don't know what happened. Maybe you could tell me what has happened to the batsman. Is something? Is there a virus over there or something?
I don't think so. I don't know what it is. West Indies batsmen just seem to not take their chances. I mean, whenever it comes, you have a chance to bat through and just bat the team out of it. But I don't know what it is. I can't tell, honestly.
It's hard to understand. I mean, the inconsistency is just too much. I mean, the top five, most of the times, if one does something okay and get to like 30, that is it. Nobody else in the top five does it. Then
Nobody else. No.
you gotta depend on either the all around the holder or the wicketkeeper, the silver or something to take you. Last time it's a Shamar Joseph. It's like what is going on here? The top five. It's I can't explain this. I really can't
I don't
explain
know. A guy like Alec Anthony is so much promise. I mean, I'm sorry that he didn't get to his 100 in the first test. He got 92.
it. Yeah,
And Kabim Hodge has been just done so well in England, so
England.
you should be able to play the swinging ball. And
Exactly.
Jason Holt, as you said, had to bail out the team, and then Josh De Silva played well in England too. But I
Yeah, you
think
do.
I'm not sure what's going on with the West Indies.
I
They
have a
said they want
question.
to play.
I
Hmm.
have a question though, because I've always felt that the number one, the captain, has always been consistent. He can go out there and bat for 2 days and make 20 runs. That's how I saw him. The level of concentration that I've always. What is happening with him? Because I don't think he's leading from the front when it comes with the bat these days.
No, he's not, and I think he's been very irresponsible in his batting. I don't know if someone is telling him that he's got to play a different style or something, but he's really not.
He's
I
not the same
mean,
guy.
he's not the same guy. He's a guy who was averaging close in his 40, close to 50 in Test cricket, is now averaging
Exactly.
33, and he's going backward instead of going forward.
Forward.
So yeah, I think Craig is gonna have to step up, or maybe it's time to change the captain,
We
and
have to seriously think
he
about that for
he'll
sure.
have to fight for his position in the team.
I agree with that. I mean, I was pretty cool with him as the man because he would go out there and you could almost rely on him to do the right thing. But for the last couple of series, I don't think he's doing that anymore. So I don't know what it is, what's changed, but something's changing.
Something's definitely changed, and yeah, we're gonna have to look and see what's happening with Craig because you can't keep him like that, and he's
No,
not leading well either. I don't think he's a
no,
good
he's
leader.
not. He's,
No,
yeah, I mean, everything that seems to be, I don't know. And just like listening to him talk these days, it's not the same guy. I don't know.
maybe
I
he's
don't,
losing interest. Maybe like
maybe
most players now, they just want to play short version, but he's
make
not
some
fit for
money.
that.
And
Yeah,
yeah, so that's the thing. I think maybe that's what's bothering him. With his style, he can. Maybe that's why he's trying to change his game. He doesn't get into the short game because that's not his style. But you got to get into the short game if you want to make real money. So I don't know if that's the problem.
yeah. I think most of the West Indies players. I was speaking to one of the West Indies players here at the GT20, and I mentioned I think he could be playing all formats, and he said no, he's good where he is. So they obviously don't want to play Test cricket, and that's
I
unfortunate.
I think what's his Russell sort of tried to address that. I think he said
Hmm.
It's not that they don't want to play, but I think a lot of players are just not interested because there's just too many T20 leagues around the world right now. So why would you play Test cricket? What's the
Yeah,
incentive?
and even the smaller ones, like I mean, there's the ones that go maybe for 2.5, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
IPL is exceptional,
Yeah.
but then you go some that go for a little over a month. But
Um,
when you look at guys can fly out from the West Indies to the USA for a weekend and
yeah.
make five, $10,000 just for the weekend.
Why
Like,
wouldn't you do that then?
yeah,
It's a reality,
so
right? And,
it's
and and
reality.
next week you can jump and you could go to Dubai
Yeah,
and do it all over again. And then a couple weeks later, you go to Pakistan, you go to Sri Lanka, you go to South Africa, you go to England, you go to you can go anywhere and do that
and
at any given weekend.
I mean, even now, I mean, like we have here in Canada, we have a national championships next week. One of our top players is not available because there's now a Cayman Islands T10
Oh
starting
my
to
word!
yesterday, starting yesterday,
My word.
and he was drafted into that.
Oh
So
my! What are you
you
gonna do?
know,
Are
you
you
know
gonna
what
take
can
the
you
money?
do?
Or are you gonna play for the? What's the choice here?
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. What you're gonna find is that a lot of players are gonna just decide it's easier to just go to the shorter version.
They're pushing you to it. That's where the money is.
Mm.
That's where the crowd is. That's where the sport is heading to.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I'm not sure if we can. That's gonna change because I spoke to a couple of young people and they don't want to see Test cricket. They're just interested in fours and sixes.
Exactly. Most people are.
Yeah.
And I think people are caught up in this like a 3 hour window, so everybody's fine doing a 3 hour window for a game. It's a baseball game,
Yes.
even track and field is 90 minutes. So they're trying to just put these games in windows and you go
Hmm.
for that window. And I think that's what people are used to, especially in North America, and that's what everybody's pushing for. You can
Yes. I
package it,
think.
you can make a lot of money off it for marketing and all of that, and you can sell rights to it and all. It's a lot easier to do that in these small packages.
Yes, it's so much easier to do that, and I think you're so correct. No one is interested in these longer versions anymore. Only like the Ashes, the England India Test series and stuff. Those
Exactly.
are interested, but they nah, that's tough.
Outside of that, it's tough.
If you looked at the crowds in Guyana, it's I mean, you have a hero like Joseph coming home,
Went home to play.
and the stands are empty.
Yeah, I was like, when he said crowds, I was like, what crowd is he talking?
The non-crowds,
A
yeah,
smattering of people.
it's pattern of people. Yeah, that's
And
what we
yeah, and
have.
you have a superhero like Joseph coming home and he's even showing up, taking 5 wickets, and that doesn't seem to change much.
No one's there. Yeah, going on to some other cricket though, if just so we can get into some track and field in the interest of time. Canada is playing in League Two with the Netherlands and USA in Netherlands, and they've not done well at all. Canada lost their first two matches to USA and Netherlands. The first game was a blowout, but the second they actually came back well and had a eighth wicket stand of 125 to get close and lose to the USA by 14. But then they currently play in Netherlands, chasing I think it's 200. They need 100 and further. The Netherlands are 214 and Canada
Okay.
86 for six, and
Oh,
that's not
so I have a
looking
little way
good.
to go. So that's what 128 or something like that.
After 220 Netherlands, Canada, yeah, 80, 85 for six, and Canada had a great start and just lost 4, 5 wickets in a hurry because
Did they take lessons from the West Indies or something?
I'm just wondering because the first wicket fell at 59 and then now it's 85
If
for
I
six.
Oh
So
my word.
it's not
Uh,
looking good.
no, that's not good at all. That's a,
And USA, Netherlands are unbeaten so far at home, so they're
yeah.
top of the table, and Canada has to do a lot of work. They need to get the target of 221. I don't know if they'll get
It's
there, but
not looking likely at all.
144 runs in
Yeah,
35 overs. It's a lot of overs, so
they got the overs, but I don't know if they have the manpower to get there.
to get
I
there, that's
would say
true.
kudos to Netherlands, though. I mean, I've watched them When they beat the West Indies the other day, I was like,
Hmm.
what is going on here? But they're proving their worth. They're taking the game seriously. I think they have a solid little team. Nothing spectacular, but a good enough team to be dangerous at any given point. So kudos to them. I think over time they're going to become more and more dangerous. I mean, I think we said that a little bit about Ireland a few years ago, and Ireland hasn't
Hmm.
really moved on much more, but they're still dangerous. I
Right.
think maybe the Netherlands is probably going to be the same as Ireland, but who knows? Maybe they take it a little further and become a cricketing nation that we have to worry about.
They're pretty good, and
Yeah,
I thought what would you'd have seen in this series that Canada would have been more competitive, and USA, because Netherlands are without a lot of their players who are playing county cricket, so some of the top players are not even there. But
yeah,
it shows the depth of the
yeah,
strength of the
correct,
depth, that they have. So that's
correct.
pretty good for Netherlands, and so that series, Canada, as we said, they're not looking that their best for
Not
sure,
at all.
and
Not
not a great start for the new captain Curtin. I'm sure he's wondering if this it is at the
at
ODI.
all.
Yeah, so Scotland is leading actually with 9 points. Canada and Netherlands are tied with eight, and Namibia also eight.
Okay, okay.
Oman three, United States two because they've only played two matches.
Hmm.
Nepal two, and UAE they have no points.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good tournament. I think the top team from here is going to feel good about themselves. So let's see if Canada can find its way back, or even the US. But for now, I think yeah, you got to look out for the Netherlands. You got to look out for
Yes,
Scotland.
yeah. Canada beat Scotland in both games, but they've bounced back since in other series. So
Yeah,
we'll
and
keep an eye and see if we let you know the score before we leave. But
yeah,
it's not looking very good for Canada.
not at all.
And over the last couple of weeks, we've had the GT20 Canada, and it was
Yes.
a decent tournament. Some controversy, some not so great things about the pitch. The pitch was it was not the best pitch. It was playing up and down. It was a newly laid strip, and
Uh,
new strips are always, something unpredictable. There are a couple of that were good, couple not so good. But in the end of all that up and down, I think the finals, semifinals, and finals had some good strips, and Toronto Nationals came out the champions in the end.
kudos to Toronto.
Yeah,
Congrats,
they defeated last year champion Montreal. So
Montreal.
Montreal did not get to repeat. So
They made it back to the finals. So credit to them though for that.
mhm, they did. They made it back to the finals, and it's a credit back to them. Yeah.
Yeah, good for Toronto. I mean, if this pitch wasn't imported from Australia or something, then then yeah, they got to figure out how to lay the
Well,
pitch.
and as you said, it's not. I thought. I mean, these players played on similar pitches in the World Cup, but they were very fussy, and I guess maybe it's because it's franchise cricket. But in
Yeah,
the World Cup, they had to play and they didn't make a big fuss. So
they
it,
almost
it
couldn't,
they
but yes,
couldn't exactly. So it shows that the kind of respect that you get when you're playing certain tournaments and so
tournament.
than the rest you get for others. And when
True.
they figure, I think too sometimes a lot of them see Canada not as a real cricketing nation, and they
Yeah,
come here as more as a vacation and
it is. It is.
to them. So yeah,
That is so true. The
it shows.
mindset is just not what it should be in some situations.
And I don't want to call a country, but I think the problems came from players from a certain country more
More
than
than
the other.
others.
Yeah,
Not too surprised at that.
yeah. And it was even pointed out to me in a meeting that I had that we were favoring one country over the other,
Over
captains
the.
from one country over the others.
Mm-mm.
But I don't think that was intentional. I think they just created more issues than necessary.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
And we can only
Yeah.
say next year will be better and bigger.
Yeah, it only have room for improvement. So
Correct,
yes.
correct.
So with that, there's a couple of upcoming series starting on the 21st, which is Pakistan versus Bangladesh, and these are Test series, and England versus Sri Lanka. So
Mm.
looking forward to those games, and I think the England Sri Lanka in England, that's going to be a tough one for them.
It will be
Uh,
very tough for them, yes.
and Pakistan and Bangladesh can go either way.
Well, yes, I think. I mean, I've coming in, I would think Pakistan, but I mean, yeah, with Pakistan, you never know.
Pakistan at home, so they should have the
Yeah,
advantage,
yeah,
hopefully.
they should. They
But
should.
and England in England this time of the year getting a little cooler.
It's gonna be
I
difficult.
think it's going to be different. Although we can't even say if it's going to be cool or not because this weather pattern these days, you
I
never
don't know
know.
what's going on. It's
Yeah,
the weather just has a mind of its own these days.
yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
So true.
In some news and notes, Roger, Cricket West Indies has announced that Johnny Graves is leaving. He's been there since 2017. At the end of October, Cricket West Indies extends the deepest gratitude for his dedication, service, and leadership throughout his term. And there's a lot of mixed feelings as to whether he did a great job or what Johnny Graves did for West Indies cricket. I guess the ones who don't like Johnny will say he didn't do anything, but I think it was a he's had a tough task, and it was not easy. And
I don't.
he worked with a few presidents, Dave,
Yeah, I think
and
they brought him in, right?
Dave brought him in. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I listened to him for like 20 minutes on Sportsmax yesterday.
Hmm.
I am not, well, obviously he has a lot of knowledge about the game and a lot of knowledge
Yes.
about a lot of stuff. So it's, but I don't know if he delivered anything really. And I think that was, and I think they tried to find out from him as well if he felt that he delivered much. I think
He
he said
didn't.
they laid the foundation, but I don't, yeah, maybe they did. It's been 7 years of foundation laid. I don't know.
7 years, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people thought he would have been gone before, but
Yeah.
according to him, he says it has been absolute privilege. He said it's been
Yes,
he hosted a successful T20 World Cup,
he did.
and yeah, and he said, he thanked the people of Antigua because he felt at home and
Yeah.
stuff in Antigua with his family. But yeah, it's mixed feelings, as you said. And I didn't listen to the program, but as you said, he never really said if he feel he delivered or not.
And yeah, and I mean, I think if he could just point and say, "Yeah, I did that," but he never really did that. But yeah, I think he's saying that the mind, how the West Indians think and how they approach stuff. I think he said he has done a lot to change that. Um, he's talking very strongly about the current president that he's going in the right direction and things are going to get better and better from here. So we'll see. Maybe he laid the foundation, but I mean, I thought for the amount of time that he was there that we would have seen more from the West Indies during that
Yeah, so that's true. But yeah, I guess he can do like Dave and say he won three World Cups in the
time.
same year.
Yeah, you can challenge
You
Dave on
can
that.
yes, you can challenge that. So yeah, it's really been yeah, and Dr. Shallow actually there's some people saying that he needs to go as well. And I actually saw a post which said that, as a young man he needs to just step away right now because he has not delivered and he needs to yeah.
Are you in agreement with that? I mean, I'm not convinced about him either, to tell the truth. But I mean, I think I need to give him a little chance. I think maybe by the end of next summer we'll see. But at this point in time, he hasn't done anything for me to say, he's coming to make a big difference here.
Yes, I have not seen anything as yet. I think it's just the same. In fact, I see some negatives already. I don't like. Well, he has got the direct. A lot of it seemed to be every position that's appointed seemed to be someone from Windward Islands, and then a lot of the getting rid of the selectors just before the series, important
Weird,
series. That
weird.
was very weird, and having a selection panel that includes your director of sports, that's not good. Director of cricket, no.
I know. Yeah, surrounded himself with yes men. I think I just need to watch him a little more, but he better deliver something because you're right. I think the noise is going to get louder and louder for him to step away.
Yes. And so we'll see. But Johnny, I just wish him all the best, whatever he does in the future. I'm sure
Sure.
he's probably gonna go back home and get something there.
Yeah,
But we wish him the best and all the very best for his future endeavors.
seems like a great guy, I must say. So yes,
Yes, he is a
definitely
good
more
guy.
proof. Yeah.
And finally, in the news and notes, and in the case filed by Guyana Cricket Board in the High Court of Guyana challenging the election of Azim Basrat, West Indies, the court has ruled in favor of Guyana Cricket Board, and West Indies
Oh,
are now saying they are going to appeal. So Basically, Guyana said that Basrat is illegal. It was illegally elected,
Elected, yeah.
and so they challenged it. And West Indies said that the court has no jurisdiction, but the court said it does have the jurisdiction, and they ruled in favor of Guyana. So now they've appealed, and we'll see what happens with this appeal.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it's an interesting case, I must say. I don't know if
yeah,
it's gonna go away or I don't know.
and it's been a lot about it on Sportsmax. They said they have gotten a copy of the original letter sent
Oh, they
by
did, huh?
Guyana. Yeah, well, nothing is secret these days. If
I so I know. It's
so,
all out there.
yeah, so they're contending that Bassrat should not be the vice president.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know how that's going to go after the cool court ruled, but
Yeah,
the higher court is now going to have to make a decision.
true, true. We just wait for
Yeah,
that one, but yeah, an interesting case for sure.
it is very much an interesting case, and we will see how that goes.
For sure.
I think that is it for me for cricket, unless you have anything else to add.
No, that is it for cricket as well, for me.
Yes, so we can get on to some track and field. You're listening to Love Bay Afrobeats Music Talk Radio with the Ingle and Roger Sports Hour, and we're gonna now discuss some track and field. I'm sure Roger has a lot to say. I mean, he was there firsthand, so he
Yeah,
learned a lot at the Olympics.
Olympics,
So
yeah. Stade de France was like a second home. It was absolutely amazing. The atmosphere was great. It was always 70,000 people or 60,000 people, so the stadiums are always full, lots of noise, lots of energy. So it was a good place to participate, and I'm sure I met a couple of the athletes, even
good.
Kishane Thompson, all of that. And yeah, they were all excited to be there, so it was pretty good. But when we looked at the Eastern Caribbean, the little small little countries over there with 400,000 people as a full population or less, we saw St. Lucia getting a gold and a silver. England, can you believe that? St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, yeah.
Julian Alfred, the 100-meter champion. Oh my word, that was a race to watch. Absolutely amazing performance from her, defeating Shakari Richardson. There was no Shelley and Fraser Price. We'll get to that a little later. But kudos to Julian Alfred. She was prepared, she was ready, and she delivered. And it was a very, very exciting race. She was a model of consistency and concentration. And it was awesome to see. I'm sure those videos I've seen of St. Lucia celebrating, I think it's probably just a start. I don't think they've stopped celebrating as yet. So it was awesome, awesome, awesome to see. And she wasn't alone from over that side of the world. As Thea Lafont from Dominica, I
Hmm.
think it's an even much smaller place. She won gold in the triple jump. So it was like, wow, what is happening here? Two small countries, two young ladies, Olympic champions, and they're still celebrating over there in Dominica. So
For
kudos to
sure.
to them. I mean, we also had Shafika Maloney from St. Vincent. I'm not sure if you heard the news earlier on in the year where she couldn't pay her rent, she couldn't pay her coaches.
Yes,
Yes, she was living out
I
of her
remember.
bags. She
Hmm.
got help from Sportsmax. They made it a public thing, and of course, as you mentioned, Gonzalez got involved and made sure she's okay. They got her to the Olympics, and what? She came fourth at the Olympics. So
She was fourth, yeah.
didn't get a medal, but man, that was a performance to talk about. Really, 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 really happy for her. We also had Grenada getting two bronze medals. Alison Peters in the javelin and Lyndon Victor in the decathlon. So, it's good to see the Caribbean countries. I mean, a lot of Jamaica is always there. We didn't see Trinidad, Bahamas doing their usual stuff, but other countries are showing up. Very, very happy to see that. But as I mentioned, Peters, England. I'm not sure if you were aware what happened with that javelin. So for me, it was fun to watch, but also very, very interesting to watch. So the winner came from where, Ingle? Pakistan.
Pakistan, yeah.
The defending champion was from where? India.
Yeah.
It was a Pakistan India battle, Ingle. And I'm like, is this cricket I'm watching here? What is going on? But man, it was a fascinating javelin competition between those two. The Pakistani, he was just ready. He was not going to lose. I could tell you that. But kudos to Chopper from India. He didn't want to give up his title,
Hmm.
and he came back and he came back, and you could see him put in every ounce of energy into it because, as you know, I don't think the Indian wanted the Pakistani to beat him. So
No,
it
it's a
was
big thing.
it was something else, and it's still a shock for cause the Pakistani came out of nowhere. Absolutely out of
Actually, never expected that. I've seen the Indian win on the
jump.
Diamond League,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I've never heard of the Pakistani, I can say.
yeah. He's pretty new to this. Well, at this level. So kudos. I mean, that was for me. I was like, man, this is cricket happening right in front of my face here, and the vibes in the stadium was the same. So it was pretty good to see that. But also, from a performance standpoint, we can probably go back a little to the Caribbean again, because Paulina is from the Dominican Republic, and she won that 400 meters in an Olympic record, 48.17. So, it was like, man, she got pushed all the way from the former world champion, Nasser from Bahrain. But it was a very fascinating race to see. And again, another Caribbean country stepping up and doing really, really well at the Olympic Games. So, really, really good to see. In the men's triple jump, Ingle, Cuba went first, second, and third. Sort
Hmm.
of. They didn't quite go first, second, and third. It was three Cubans, though, ex-Cubans, that
It's
went first, second, and third. So they're jumping for Portugal, and they're jumping for Spain, and they're jumping for. So they're not jumping for Cuba, but they're all Cubans that left Cuba and decided to go participate for another country. So technically, Cuba went one, two, three in the triple jump, but they didn't represent their country. So it won't show on the medal table. But you can always look out for Cuba, and then comes to the jumps. They have an excellent program there. It's sad that their top athletes choose to go jump somewhere else, but yeah, they went one, two, three.
I'm seeing a lot of those athletes actually doing that nowadays, going
Yes,
to different countries.
countries. Yeah, you gotta wait 3 years in many cases, so you gotta sit for a
Right.
few. But after the 3 years, you get all the funding, you get everything you need, and yeah, it's worked out really well for them individually and for
Hmm.
the countries that they've moved to. But yeah, it was fascinating to see the Cubans go one, two, three, and the young Jamaican 19-year-old injured, but came fourth. Jaden Hibbert. It was, I mean, I wanted him to seem to well, but it was obvious that he wasn't 100%, and he gave it his all and did a good job to be fourth. So, as I said, Cuba one, two, three, and Jamaica fourth. So that was a triple jump for men. So
Hmm.
interesting performances from the Caribbean, the small countries, and we could probably talk about the big country now, which is a big conversation. Ingo, Jamaica only got six
Jamaica,
medals, six medals. So
which is surprising, actually.
coming in, some people were saying 18, 15, but it just went south really, really, really quickly. Really quickly.
Some of the big names dropped out, so.
And it's a lot of conversations about that. So Sharika Jackson went there, and the big conversation is, did she know she was injured and not expected to run? She kept leading everybody along. She and the coach saying that she's going to be ready. She looks okay. She's not going to do the 100, but she's going to do the 200, and then she pulls out a boat.
Hmm.
Um, I, there's a long conversation around that, but I
Is
don't like
there
getting
any
too positive. So, but it was sketchy to see how
there were
that went
some
down.
people saying they showed up to get paid, but I don't think they get paid when they show up at the Olympics, do they?
Not by the Olympics. They
Not the
get paid by
Olympics.
they get paid by the shoe company.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people felt that that's what this was about.
Hmm.
That she got paid to be at the Olympics by the shoe company, and she would have to give up that if she wasn't on the team. So, I mean, yeah, it becomes a conversation about being selfish, or there's a lot of things you could talk about when it comes to this, or whether it's true or not. So, some people are saying that they lied, they lied, they lied. So, I can't say for sure. I never saw her, had a conversation with her or her coach, so I really don't know what happened here. But it wasn't a good look because before she went, remember I told you before she went, the word from Jamaica was that she was not good enough to go. So I was a little surprised to hear that she's looking good and she's there. But I mean, I I, I just hear rumors, so I can talk a little bit
Hmm.
about it. But it was a little disappointing that you know we all wanted to see her run that 200 meters, especially against Gabby Thomas, who eventually won it. We were
Right.
looking forward to that race and see how close she could go to the world record, but nothing like that happened at all. So there's just too much talk about Jamaican injuries. There was a Shelly Ann Fraser
Italian issue,
episode.
yeah.
She decided not to stay at the village for whatever reason. Both herself and Shakari showed up for getting ready for the semifinals, and they couldn't get into the warm-up track. They had to walk around, so that sort of upset their rhythm. Shakari did go and run and come second. I'm not sure if that's why she came second or not first, but Shelley didn't show up at all. She said she got injured in the warm up. So again, there's going to be rumors. Some people believe it, some people don't. Some people felt she just wasn't ready enough, and I don't know. There's all these talk from people
But
about what could have happened here, but I
yeah,
don't
I thought she had a good
know.
first round heat, right?
Yeah, she looked good in the
So
heat.
she
So
looked good, yeah.
I think some of this talk is just not not genuine at all. But
Hmm.
people say anything because they're disappointed. We all wanted to see Shelley. I mean, a lot of people were in France just to see Shelley's final Olympic race.
Hmm.
So they are very disappointed. So I guess when you're disappointed, you say all sorts of things.
I must say, I was disappointed. I lost interest in the race
There
after.
you go. There you
I
go.
did, yeah, I did. Actually lost interest and said,
It put a huge damper on
yeah,
this whole thing. I can tell you that. To see both of them pull out, and I don't, they just changed the whole atmosphere. I must say. So it's a little disappointing for that. Jamaica was hoping Nikisha Price. Apparently, she got COVID. She went poorly in the semifinals, didn't make it, and she didn't look good at all. And I was like, wow, she looked okay, and then all of a sudden she's looking this bad. And the girl that she beat at NCAA's went on to the finals, and I think came fourth or fifth or something like that. Her teammate at Arkansas, so Amber Anning. So it was just weird to see how poorly she did. But then the rumors are both her and Janelle Brumfield got COVID, so
mm,
it affected their performance, and they had to pull out from the Olympics from there. So there was that COVID thing. As mentioned, Janelle Brumfield. She's the girlfriend for Noah Lyles, and he said he had COVID. That's why he lost the 200. But that's a whole other
right.
story. But so yeah, Jamaica just didn't do as well. I think they were saying a minimum of 11 medals. They only got six. They got one that was a shock to the whole world. Actually, Roger Stoner winning that discus, showing an Olympic record. He came out talk about coming out of nowhere. He was a finalist, but no one expected him to be more than a finalist. But no, he went and he won an Olympic record.
Hmm.
And he's ultra talented, Ingle, because he never played NFL football before. And he went to one of those tryouts, and now he's been invited to all these camps with New England Patriots and others. So they're looking to put him in the NFL as well. So he's talented there. Ryan Krauser, who is the shot put champion, the record holder, is his coach. And so both of them are there, and he found a way to win. And like, I think Jamaica is still in shock. The whole world is still in shock because he was just never considered to be a factor here. But that was Jamaica's only gold medal. Only gold medal.
Only, yeah,
They didn't win a lot of medals on the track at all. They won a silver in the long jump for men. They won silver in the triple jump for women. They won bronze in the shot put. That was another shocker too for men. They're winning all these medals on the field. So what happened to the track? Kishane Thompson was expected to dominate. Oblique Seville was expected to dominate. Seville said he got injured. Kishane, I guess at the end of the day, he's pretty much saying he tied up a bit. He did get a silver still, but a lot more was
hmm.
expected from him. You know,
Well, Oblique, he surprised me actually. I thought because he had a good semis,
I thought he was going to win
and
the
I thought
final.
I was
I
gonna, yeah, I
honestly
honestly
felt
thought, yeah,
that he was going to win I felt he was looking better prepared for the finals. You could
hmm,
see, in my opinion, from the semifinals that Kishane was already tightening a bit. Oblique seemed smooth, relaxed,
yes,
like man. And then he said in his warm up he felt the injury come back. So sad to see, but yeah, Jamaica's performance was just whoa. What is going on here? You had all these lows. You had a couple of highs, as I mentioned, but there was way more lows than highs. The men's 4x1 didn't even make the
didn't
finals.
make the finals, yeah,
The women's 4x4, for some reason, that Baden got knocked out of Anjanette Knight's hand
yeah, hmm,
somehow. I can't feel it for her. I'm almost in tears for her. It's She was in second position when it happened, so
hmm.
very, very, very tough. But Jamaica didn't medal in the relays. So, which is so unusual. They didn't have a finalist in the 200 meters. Tia Clayton was in the 100 and she came sixth or seventh or something. So, from a sprinting perspective, Jamaica wasn't Jamaica, to tell the truth.
No, they weren't. It's not like Jamaica for real. Even in some of the other races, like the 5,000 for women, it almost looked like a wrestling match at times.
So there were some fascinating races to watch, and that was one of them. And I think Tessie guy has come back and apologized to Kippieg and say, you know what, it was my fault because,
Hmm.
but they did disqualify Kippieg, which I was very disappointed for, but they did reinstate her
All
eventually.
right.
But that wasn't a that was a boxing match in the middle of a race.
Mhm.
That was fun to
Definitely
watch.
was.
It's fun to watch. So that is one of the races that I thought was fascinating to see. Before we get to the races, let's quickly talk about Canada though.
Hmm.
They showed up and they got 5 medals. Coming in, I thought they would have gotten two for sure with the hammers, and they won both hammers. So to come as world champions and now Olympic champions, kudos to both hammer throwers. That was fascinating to see. Both men and women were dominant in their victories. So really, really happy to see that. The shocker of the men's 4x1, they barely made it to the finals, but from the start of that race with Aaron Brown, I'm like, okay, this is a statement race. And then the US couldn't pass a baton on the backstretch, and America just ran out of it from there. And I thought England would have been a little more competitive, and they struggled a bit. And it was just Canada. They were locked in. They made no mistakes. Everyone did extra than what they can do, and they delivered. They are the Olympic champions. They were bronze, they were silver, and now they're the Olympic champions. So they have a full set of medals for this 4x1, and it's the same team over the last 8 years. So kudos to them. I must say, Ingle, a fascinating race to watch. I must tell you that. They also got medals from Marco Arap, who almost is very close to the world record now. So he was second in that 800 meters by pretty much the skin of his teeth. And Alicia Newman, she's back. She's back in the pole vault and she got a bronze. So to see
Hmm.
5 medals for Canada, I mean, remember now, Jamaica usually get 11 and 12, and they only got six. Canada got five with much better quality. So it was truly, truly a good Olympics for the Canadian team, for sure, for sure.
It was. And then you add the other medals in swimming and stuff, it was
Yes,
a
it was
great
their best
Olympics.
Olympics, yeah, for best in a long time. But as you also mentioned, and there were some fascinating races that people could talk about, and the 1500 meter for men, where Ingebrigtsen didn't get a medal. I
Hmm.
mean, that was one of the best. I think I watched it like 5 times on YouTube afterwards. It was
Mm.
fascinating to watch. Fascinating to watch. I thought Josh Kerr would have won, but Cole Hawker found a way to come and win. So that was very, very interesting to see. We had some standout performances in the heptathlon women because TM from Belgium, she's now a three-time Olympic champion in the hep. Unheard of, three straight. Very, very difficult to do. As mentioned, Kip Yeagan in the 1500 meters, three straight. Very, very difficult to do. So these three-time winners are just off the charts, if you ask me. To do
Hmm.
this over three Olympics, it's no joke. No
Any
joke at all.
surprises in the 800 women to you? With Kelly
Ah,
Hodgkinson winning?
no, I expected Keely to win. I
Keely,
expected
okay.
Keely to win, and she delivered. We had world records there to Ingle. Sydney McLaughlin. She doesn't fool around with world records, and she delivered again. The other person who doesn't fool around with world records, Amanda Duplantis in the pole vault for men. He
Right.
delivered again as well. So there were two world records there, and from a performance point of view, a world record, nothing beats that. So kudos to them for finding a way to get a world record at the Olympics. We also saw Sifan Hassan, who ran the 5,000, the 10,000, and the marathon.
That's
And guess what?
crazy.
She won a bronze in the 5,000, a bronze in the 10,000, but she won the marathon. And that was almost becoming a boxing match, too. But she did go on to win the marathon. So I don't know how she does it. She's just next level something. I don't know what that is. But
She
that was
is.
some performance for her to take. I will say that from a performance point of view, those that I thoroughly enjoyed, both the men and women 200. Gabby Thomas is one of my favorite athletes, so I was very, very happy to see her win that 200 in a very impressive
Oh
style.
yeah, I was so happy for her.
Very happy for her. We saw Tobago defeating Noah Lyles in that 200 meters, and another
Like,
one of my athletes that I really like to watch. So
that was a shock to me, actually.
it wasn't a shock to me. I'd
But the
call it
reason
a
it shocked
wild.
was how big the
The
distance and the
distance, yeah.
time. Yeah.
I think Lyles was saying he had COVID, but at the end of the day, Tobago, the first African to win a gold medal, and I think they're still celebrating in Botswana right now.
Yes.
And outside of that, I think the 4x4s, there were some very, very fast times. And the women, they won by a distance, but, they were just 1/10 of a second outside of the world record, which hasn't been challenged for many, many, many years. And on the men, they were pretty much the same, almost 1/10 of a second outside that world record. So very, very good 4x4 races. And in all, Ingo, it was a fascinating Olympics to watch. Totally
It was,
fascinating.
it was actually. The US seemed to have ran too quickly in the earlier races. To they, they couldn't do that in the final.
Yeah, I know, I know.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see how we go from here. I mean, there's a lot of thought that LA is going to be massive and all of that stuff, and there's a
Yes,
lot of promotion for it already. So
I could
I've been
imagine that
saying
will
maybe I
be.
should plan to be there, but it was good to see what happened in Stade de France, and the Americans showed up. They won when they should have won, and they did win a lot of medals. So I can't say anything about that. But a lot of countries, Eastern Caribbean, Jamaica, Canada, we're all stepping up. Even Africa, as we said with Tobago, even
Yes,
Pakistan. So
Pakistan. Yeah,
yeah,
Pakistan has stepped up too.
a lot of people stepping up. So it was a good Olympics. In some quick news and notes, so Armando Duplantis, as I mentioned, keeps breaking the world record, but he challenged Shelley and Fraser Price to 100 meters. She chose not to run him. Now he decided to take on Carsten Warholm, the former champion, Olympic champion in the 400-meter hurdles. He was second this time around. They're going to challenge each other in a 100-meter showdown in
Mm,
Zurich on the September 4th. So something to look forward to. A pole vaulter versus a 400-meter hurdler in
fun.
100. I think my money would be on the 400-meter hurdler, but I mean, let's see what this pole vaulter can do. He knows how to break world records, so they're both world record holders. So let's see what happens in that race. But I'm actually looking forward to that. And one of the events that I was at was the Olympic medals reallocation ceremony, where there were three Jamaicans there that got medals from the 2000 Olympics, the 2008 Olympics, and 2012 Olympics because of drug cheats. So good,
Mm,
good, good, good thing to do to get them the medals in a public forum. Derek Jorin, who is was Canada's top high jumper for many many years and a many time winner, he also got a medal reallocated to him as well. So it was good to see, and it's a good thing that IOC is doing to make sure that these Olympians that were cheated of their medals at least get an opportunity to celebrate in front of a crowd. Maybe not 70,000 people, maybe just 2,000 people or 3,000, but it was fascinating to see that happen. All right, Ingle. Anything else on the
mm.
track?
I think that's it. We're almost out of time, so it's
Yeah,
10:57 already. The
yeah. So we
time
can
just
quickly,
flies.
yeah, I know. Let's quickly talk some
Some
football or soccer,
football.
as people call it. So, the EPL, English Premier League, kicked off, and Manchester United is on top with their 1-win victory over Fulham.
Mm-hmm.
But the games are playing today. Let's see how the rest of the teams go. I think we have your team
Um,
up
mm.
against City, right? So how is
The
Chelsea going to
scores
do?
right now is Liverpool 2-0 over Ipswich,
Yeah, yeah.
Arsenal 1-0 over Wolverhampton, Brighton and Hove they're over Everton 1-0,
Oh,
Newcastle 1-0 over Southampton, Forest over Bournemouth 1-0, and Chelsea plays tomorrow, I think.
tomorrow against
Yeah,
City, though. Uh,
City. Yeah,
do you have a
what a way to start.
do you have a winner?
Chelsea for sure.
Good, good, good. Cole Palmer's back. Young kid scored for England. So
Hmm.
yes, he's saying he's gonna do something big. Let's see what he can do this year. I watched Real Madrid though, playing at Atalanta for that UFA Cup, and they look very like they're gonna dominate again. Not only the Champions League, they're gonna dominate in Spain again. But let's see. Mbappe scored in his first game for them, and he says he's looking forward to scoring 50 goals this year. So should be an exciting year for Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe over there.
It's,
Uh, it's a powerful team, a very powerful
yeah,
team.
it's a very strong team, and if they don't win, then the expectations that they're gonna win.
Win,
So
yeah, and they
yeah.
looked really good in their game. Quickly, Jamaica Reggae Boys. They have a new head coach, Steve McLaren, who is the assistant coach at Manchester United today. He's now the new head coach of Jamaica, and he seems pretty excited. So let's see if he can make a difference for the Jamaican Reggae Boys to take them to the World Cup 2026 right here in Canada, the US, and
Wow.
Mexico. So
We will see how that goes, and
yeah,
we'll see how all the other sports as we have come to the end of
and
the show. And
we have.
thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay safe.
Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. See you next week.